Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen, how the devil? It's time, once again, for your favourite time of the week. You know it, and I know it. And Noel Edmonds, or whoever it is you're not watching on the telly, knows it as well. Does Noel Edmonds even have a TV show anymore? I'm showing my age. Anyway, it's the BBC Spews. Huzzah! Right, let's get this shit show on the road, shall we? I believe this is the first one since New Year's. So, yeah, welcome to 2022. It's going to be a wild ride. If 2021's got anything to go by, if that was the hilariously inept prequel, this is going to be a shambles of mammoth proportions. Joey's Bungalow Biden's first year was bad enough. Now he's settled into the White House. I think we're all in serious shit. The dollar is going to be worth less than toilet paper by the time this dopey old twat is through. But anyway, let's not talk about that. I want to talk about Novak Djokovic. Djokovic makes a last-ditch visa appeal. It's been going on for days. It's been the main news story all week. There's a lot of misinformation about it. I'm here to give you the facts. Are you ready? Contrary to the BBC's ridiculous communist propaganda, all of this nonsense in the summation fails to point out one extremely pertinent fact, which is this. Novak Djokovic applied for a visa in the same way anybody else does. So I don't want to hear Laura Kussenberg saying, oh, it's different, it's one rule for the rich. It isn't. Novak Djokovic applied like everybody else. And more importantly, the Aussies use a blind process. He had 2 doctors sign off on his visa without mentioning him by name. And the Australian government changed their minds and revoked his visa when he was already on the fucking plane. It is nakedly political by an authoritarian regime that has lost the fucking plot. The decision is, as his lawyers correctly point out, irrational and illogical. As guys like me have made very clear from the beginning, if the medical data does indeed confirm the fact that there are risks inherent to the vaccine process, as well as obviously there's risks inherent to getting COVID, it's the duty of the individual to ascertain the risk and make their decision. This is why, funny old thing, freedom fucking works. It's a good system. You decide what's best for you instead of outsourcing it to a lumbering behemoth known as the state. And the data suggests that neither are without risk, right? Both can have negative effects on the human body, the vaccine and the coronavirus. Medical research suggests, and it's not like we haven't got a fucking billion test subjects, is it? Medical research suggests that older, unhealthier people should definitely get the vaccine instead of getting COVID. But younger, specifically male as well, there's a lot of research being done, younger men appear to be at high risk of myocardia or slow heart rate, or in the case of a few fucking footballers it appears to be, you take a stopping altogether. So why would a fucking professional athlete in his early 30s prefer to get a vaccine instead of just getting the ailment? And he got the ailment in December, so he's got natural immunity anyway. It makes zero sense, and it is 100% political, and it's a great litmus test for just how irrational and fucked up the Australian government is. And the fact that they overruled the decision of a judge shows you everything you need to know about them, because only a tyrant steamrolls the legal process. That one thing, the legal process set up over many, many centuries to guarantee our rights and freedoms. If you put the case before a judge and they say, yep, he hasn't got a case to answer, and then the state goes, fuck the judge, you are not a free person. So Novak Djokovic is getting seriously messed with, and he does not deserve it. The state is fingering the tennis ace, and the man does not deserve any of the vitriol that's gone his way. It's a fucking disgrace. It also shows how shrill and judgmental the left is. Because on Twitter at the moment, it's just a million people baying for his fucking blood. Like he dug up the bones of Ned Kelly and bummed the skeleton on national television. Sorry for that reference. I don't know any other Australian heroes, to be honest. The man is blameless. And if you've been on the kill him bandwagon, give your head a fucking shake. You should be ashamed of yourself. The other big story of the week, as if we don't know, is Boris's fucking party, right? I'm sick of hearing about it. The BBC has been accused of running full-on propaganda, trying to organise a coup to just get Johnson out of Downing Street. And I wouldn't disagree with that assessment. All they do is talk about Boris Johnson. When's he going to resign? When's he going to resign? When's he going to resign? And it might upset some of you to say, but again, the Bootneck's a rational man. The Bootneck jumped on the bandwagon and said, yep, sack the fat horrible cunt, I fucking hate him. But after carefully listening to the opinions of many people I like over the last week, Peter Hitchens, Mark Stein are my two favourites, but many, many more, I've arrived at the regretful conclusion that Boris Johnson cannot currently resign as it stands, because he's the only man who did commit to getting Brexit done. If they throw him out of Downing Street, pound to a pinch of shit, they'll have some Remainer twat in there. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility that by the end of this year, we'll be back in the fucking thing. Because if you think that they don't desperately want the UK back in the European Union, when they were the second biggest contributors to that shambling shit show, you've got another thing coming. Also, and it's a big also, none of them followed the rules. One rule for them, very true, miss. But it's not Boris Johnson. It's not even the Conservative Party. It's all of them. And look at the language. MPs can't skulk, plotting in Westminster's corridors at weekends. Well, they can. They fucking can. But they're making it all about Boris Johnson and the Tories. Listen to me. You're being fed a lie. None of them obeyed the rules. Starmer was on the piss. Jess Phillips was on the piss. David Lammy was on the piss. No leader followed the rules. What became blatantly and obviously clear when that photo leaked of them all getting pissed outside watching the Red Arrows is that our leaders firmly believe that it's one rule for us and no rules for them. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about Boris Johnson or Keir Starmer or Vince Cable or who's even in charge of the dog shit Lib Dems now. Fucking Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed. None of them obeyed the rules. None of them. No British politician thought that those rules apply to them. So it's really a non-story. It's none of our leaders do as they are bastard told. So this is window dressing. Starmer's as bad as Johnson. And frankly, none of us tried to obey the rules very well either, did we? So it's not that big of a story. The big story is they want rid of Johnson because they want rid of Brexit. And for the time being, until we can guarantee we've got someone in there who has nailed their mast 100%, to us never ever darkening Europe's door ever again, that fat, saggy albino jellyfish needs to stay where he is. Here's a good story. Close to my heart, because it's close to my home. Los Angeles Railway littered with thousands of parcels stolen from trains. Look at this and just look how much of a shithole Los Angeles is. All the big cities in California have been reduced to this. It's like a fucking third world country. Because Gavin Newsom and those lefty twats up in the state capital, Sacramento, have encouraged all of the scum to make the way there. It's like the great exodus. If you're a shitbag, move to fucking California. That's why people are leaving. Because there's hundreds of thousands of fucking drifters and strays and smackheads filling the streets. Let's watch this. Just look at the state of it.
Seeing this, I've been with this company for 8 years, and I've never seen it like this in my entire 8 years. They don't care if the train's moving or not. They jump on the trains, pop the lock, and just start grabbing whatever they see. Anything from test kits for COVID to furniture, tires, bicycles, TVs.
It's like fucking Angola, like the Angolan postal service. When you motivate all of the world's homeless with your lefty do-gooder policies, you basically motivate them all to move in. When you tell them, come live with us, we'll house you, we'll clothe you, we'll feed you, the weather's nice, scumbags move in, and pleasant middle-class arseholes move out. And the left have ruined California. That's a fact. Today, me and my missus went for a walk in Santa Barbara. It's the town she went to college in. So I've got a lot of time for the place. Went for a few pints, go around the pubs. It's changed beyond measure in the last 10 years. The main high street looks like, well, I took a photo. There it is. It's like a place we used to frequent, right? We used to go there for a cuppa. Not only has it closed down because of all the overbearing restrictions of governing foreskin up north, but to add insult to injury, loads of places have closed, and when they close, crusty shit-covered smackheads move the fucking tents in. How about that? To add insult to injury, close a business that you all like to frequent. Manky old tramp tips up with his tent a week later and fucking takes some prime real estate. It's an absolute piss take. And that is coming to a town near you. If you elect lefty arseholes, like I've talked about, right, it's going to get bad before it gets better. The Tories are done. The woke Conservatives are going to lose the next general election. That's coming to a town near you. I guarantee it. Because you're going to get hand-wringing left-wing arseholes who just motivate homeless people from all around, I was going to say all around the country, but in Britain it's going to be all around the world. Oh, Somalian blokes, come on in, boys, bring up a dinghy, we'll give you an house in Leeds. And then they go, oh, look, we haven't got enough houses. So they're all in the streets and they give them tents and they'll give them food. And they're just there, robbing and raping and just running amok. Like the fucking Vikings have invaded. They just had a slightly longer sail this time. It's coming to a town near you, ladies and gents, and when it does, when you can't walk a single down a street without getting harassed by a mentally ill tramp, you can't walk past Greg's without seeing an old homeless bloke's fucking sausage roll, remember to lay the blame at the lefty do-gooder's doorstep. Quick one about Prince Harry. He's in a legal fight to pay for his UK police protection because he's desperate to stay relevant. I don't see why. He has to get involved again, trying to have a go at the Home Office for not letting him have police protection. He says he wants to pay for his own, but it's just more bollocks from the Ginger Prince and his fucking harpy of a wife. If Pyra pulled off a Mountbatten and fucking blew his yacht up, I think this would be the first time in history where you'd actually have British soldiers cheering for the fucking terrorist organisation. I don't care about Prince Harry, his gopping swamp creature wife, and his ugly, fucked up family. I don't care. I know that makes me sound callous, but I don't care. And if the British state has to spend one extra penny to keep this spoiled brat safe from harm, well, it's too much. We can't afford it. Sorry, Hazza, we've got a few extra thousand boat people rock up extra month we need to pay for. We can't afford it, mate. We can't afford it. If that means you can't visit, fucking fair enough. Nobody wants you to come over anyway. Stay in Montecito and never darken our doors again. We're fucking full, son. Also, why are his eyes so close together? I don't trust anyone whose eyes are that close together. The fucking ginger cyclops. Oh yeah, and I'm doing this one. You know, like how the real news always ends on a fluff piece so you don't hang yourself. It's like death, chaos, some puppies were found in a toilet. This is our version, right? Why Lady Macbeth is literature's most misunderstood villain. You know why this makes me laugh? Because it's the BBC once again, doing another postmodernist critique. You know, up is down, left is right. Everything you think you knew is fucking bollocks. Because I'll tell you what I remember from school. We did Macbeth when I was in high school, and I remember Lady Macbeth is possibly the most evil cunt in literature. She is a proper, sneaky, devious, lying, murdering, horrible, wizened fucking snake with tits, right? And look what they've wrote here. Oh, misunderstood. Shakespeare's murderous queen has long been demonised as a wicked seductress. But Frances McDormand shows that she deserves far more understanding. Oh, really, Hannah? Really? Hannah fucking Flint. Yet another humanities graduate with a head full of cow shit. They're covering it right, because if you haven't seen, the recent remake of Macbeth stars Denzel fucking Washington. Denzel Washington. And Scotland was 99.99% white in fucking 1980. So, not the best casting. Ruth Negga's now playing Lady Macbeth in another production. Yeah. That's what Scottish women looked like 500 years ago. I look forward to the inevitable short, pasty, ginger jock playing fucking Martin Luther King for the sake of balance. And she makes the argument, it's because they had the death of a child. It's like the communist film critics version of, it's not his fault, my lord. He had a bad childhood. And it says, in Lady Macbeth's case, it may be best understood as that of a woman navigating a strongly patriarchal world. Fuck me. It's set in the Middle Ages, you balmy bastard. Listen, when Lady Macbeth was apparently gambling across the hills in Scotland, I'm aware it's fictional, but they didn't even know the word patriarchal. Is there anything more useless than a critic? I don't think so. So there you go. Even the culture section of the BBC is full of fucking communist waffle from start to finish. That's where we're at. Thanks for watching for another week of pre-recorded BBC Spews. Don't forget to tune in on Monday at about 7 p.m. We'll see what happens. For the live version, which is, well, I was going to say slightly less professional because it's not edited, but I mean, look at the state of this. The lighting. It's like I'm in a fucking dentist's office. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like it and share it and all of that bollocks. And see you all very soon. Toodle pip.